Welcome to the weekly news roundup on TTV. I'm Najah Daha. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Cooperation and Mauritanians Abroad announced that Mauritania's embassy in Ankara has received journalist Mohammed Walid al-Sheikh following intensive diplomatic efforts that led to his successful release. According to ministry spokesperson Ahmed Ouldada, the journalist is in good health and the embassy is completing procedures for his return to Nouakchott. Walid al-Sheikh was among the passengers aboard the vessel Al Salmoud, which was intercepted and boarded by Israeli forces as it attempted to break the blockade on Gaza. His release marks the culmination of a discreet but determined Mauritanian diplomatic effort that underscored the country's principled support for humanitarian initiatives and the protection of journalists in conflict zones. Mahla Ahmed Talibna, head of Mauritania's National Observatory for the Rights of Women and Girls, was unanimously elected president of the Executive Bureau of the Network of National Observatories for Justice and Gender Equality in Francophone Africa for a 2-year term. The election took place in Nouakchott under the patronage of First Lady Mariam Vadeldeh during the installation of the network's new Executive Bureau. Member states include Mauritania, Côte d'Ivoire, Guinea, Senegal, and Chad, with observer countries such as the Central African Republic, Benin, Mali, and Niger. The event represents a milestone for Mauritania as both a founding and host nation, reinforcing its leadership in promoting gender equality and defending women and girls' rights across the Francophone African sphere. The Ministry of Livestock Development announced the 10 confirmed outbreaks of Rift Valley fever had been detected as of October 1, 2025, across 8 districts and 5 regions of the country. The first outbreak was identified on September 15th in Dar el-Baraka commune, the Boga district of the Brakna region. The ministry stated that early surveillance launched in August enabled the timely detection of cases in Maqta' al-Hjar and Temchekit. It has since heightened veterinary vigilance, intensified abattoir inspections, and launched awareness campaigns to educate citizens on prevention measures. Authorities urged the public to avoid contact with sick or dead animals, cook meat and boil milk thoroughly, use protective gear when handling livestock, report suspicious deaths, and shield animals from mosquito bites. The ministry affirmed that it closely monitoring the situation in coordination with local and national health authorities to contain the outbreak. Mauritanian magistrate Moulay Abdallah Ouelbaba was elected last Wednesday in Geneva as a member of the United Nations Committee Against Torture for the 2026 to 2029 term. The Mauritanian Judges Association hailed the election as a new milestone for the country's judicial diplomacy, strengthening its presence in international legal bodies. This achievement, it said, reaffirms Mauritania's commitment to upholding international human rights standards and combating all forms of torture and ill treatments in accordance with UN conventions. Minister of Economic Affairs Abdallah Suleiman Sheikh Sidiya announced a 10% increase in state revenues for 2024, equivalent to 8.6 billion ouguiyas, driven by improved tax collection and fiscal discipline. Total expenditures reached 101 billion ouguiyas with a 94% execution rate, reflecting tighter control of public spending. The minister described the 2024 budget settlement bill as historic since it was finalized within a year of the fiscal period, demonstrating enhanced transparency and accountability. He also received a $72 million education financing agreement signed with the International Development Association and Germany's FKW Bank, aimed at strengthening educational governance and expanding opportunities for vulnerable youth through the Sahel Regional Learning and Cooperation Project. Sidiya emphasized that these results confirm the success of the government's expansionary fiscal policy, balancing infrastructure investment and social protection through prudent borrowing and increased domestic resource mobilization. The African Development Bank approved a $500,000 emergency humanitarian grant to assist Malian refugees and host communities in Mauritania's Houd al-Sharq region. The aid will benefit some 36,000 people, over half of them women and children, across 18 localities in Amrouj, Jiganni, Timbedra, and Add el-Bagro. Implemented by UNICEF in coordination with Mauritanian authorities, the program will provide 250 sanitation units, 1,500 hygiene kits, and establish 50 local management committees. AFDB Deputy Director General for North Africa, Malin Bloomberg, said the initiative reflects the bank's solidarity with Mauritania and its commitment to protecting the vulnerable populations, particularly women and girls, by ensuring gender-sensitive infrastructure and combating gender-based violence. surveillance. The project aligns with AFDB's 2022 to 2026 strategy for building resilience and addressing fragility in Africa. The Ministry of Digital Transformation and Public Sector Modernization announced plans for an ambitious national nano-satellite program designed to establish a sovereign space system that strengthens national security, surveillance, and digital coverage. Minister Ahmed Salim Woodbaba chaired a high-level meeting on Monday with stakeholders from multiple ministries to define the program's key operational and scientific objectives. According to the ministry's statement, the initiative will transfer advanced know-how in the design, manufacture, and operation of nanosatellites, enabling Mauritania to build domestic technical capacity. The program includes launching one or more low-orbit satellites and establishing a national ground control infrastructure. Officials describe it as a strategic step toward technological sovereignty and a cornerstone for expanding digital access across the country's most remote areas. Stay updated for more details on our social media platforms or visit our website www.taqaddumi.mr.